All right. So we'll do that. Something we can do together. It looks like you guys are totally into it, so that's pretty cool. All right. So let's get back into this. But I want to emphasize that it was number 2 in verse 2. It says, of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by sevens, the male and his female, and of beasts that are not clean by 2, the male and female.
Beasts that are not clean by 2, the male and his female.
All right, so okay, so on the real, y'all, like, I got a question for you, family, and please let me know in the comments if this is you. My entire life until, say, the last 2.5, 3 years, I did not know at all that Noah was, like, the Most High had Noah, like, save clean and unclean. At all. Am I the only one? Like, legit. Like, there's a reason why I'm bringing this up. I was under the impression, like, yo, humanity sucked. This is like the beginning stages, right? Humanity sucked. Like, we were just being bad people. And the Most High was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to put a whipping on all y'all. Here's a flood, right? That's what we taught, right? And then we're also taught that animals came to the ark. Animals came to the ark. Yo, Noah, pack the ark with all these animals, right? I mean, like, I didn't know that it was clean and unclean. I didn't know that there was a difference. I didn't know that it was importance. Why am I bringing this up? So am I not I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I just want to make sure I'm not alone. The reason why I'm saying that is consider how you're being taught. Consider how you're being taught. How is it that we get our age and it's like, that's really a thing? Like, that's been sitting there the entire time. But wait a minute. It ain't just the way we're taught. It's also our faults. It's your fault. It's been sitting there the entire time. Noah ain't one of the quiet little stories in the book. He's one of the loudest stories in the book. So we as individuals have to say, yo, you know what? Hold up. How in the world did I not take the time to study this to see for ourselves? So it's kind of on us too. So before we point fingers at the pastors, we got to go inwardly first and go, yo, like, on the real, like, I've heard of the story of Noah. I didn't know this at all. Like, I mean, I know now, I've known the last couple of years, but how am I just now? Like, yeah, I just found out 2 years ago. Like, I never thought about that. The reason why I'm trying to bring that up is because we got to start learning to hold ourselves accountable for all the things that we're doing that is not allowing us to get closer to the Most High. Because when you can start doing that, be like, yo, I dropped the ball on that. I dropped the ball on that. Now, when you take a look at that pastor and you see that pastor on stage, like dancing around Noah, giving half truths, now you can have a quality thought and you look inward first. So when you get ready to say something, guess what? It's not. It's not judgment. It's conviction. Why? Because you look inwardly first and you smack yourself around and say, how did I let that happen? Then you can identify, like, yo, like, they telling the story of Noah and they leaving stuff out. Like, there's no doubt about it. They're leaving stuff out. And here they go into this motivational thing, motivational speech. Not okay. Not okay. Now you're qualified. You're qualified to speaking on that now. You can have confidence to say, I know what I know. And that ain't it. That ain't it. And then when you're talking to somebody online and then they doing the same thing, here's where I really need you to hear me. When you're trying to share something that you already know, you put in the work. You've earned it. You got to learn when to pull back, man. You got to learn, you got to read the elephant in the room and ask yourself, am I giving this person too much of my time? Are they willing and are they ready to receive it yet? They're not ready to receive it yet. They are regurgitating information, and because they're regurgitating information, I need to take a step back, preserve my energy, so maybe I can give that energy to someone else who is looking to hear this, or you can give that energy back to the Most High by continuing to study His Word. All right? That way you can keep elevating, and then just plant the seed for people. That's it. Just plant the seed. All right, let's keep going.
Also of the air by sevens, the male and the female, to keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth. For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and every living
Y'all hear that? We just got through talking about the number 7 being a holy number to the Most High, 40 being a holy number to the Most High. And what did he just say? We just heard 7 a couple of times on a few things, right? And then he says in verse 4, for yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. 40 is a big deal to the Most High. That's just something I just really don't want to know. I don't want it to go over anybody's head. Let's continue.
That I have made will I destroy from off the face of the earth. And Noah did according unto all that the Lord commanded him. And Noah was 600 years old when the flood of waters was upon the earth.
Okay, so if you're taking notes, I want to be very clear that when you got to pay attention to certain things that's in the word to know that something the Most High wants you to understand. Okay, so for example, it's how it's worded. All right. It skipped forward some. Let me back it up just a smidge if I could. Okay, here it is. Verse 6. It says, and Noah was 600 years old when the flood of the waters was upon the earth. He's trying to tell you something there. So if you're taking notes, write down Noah, 600 years old, when the flood of the waters was upon the earth. That is Genesis chapter 1, verse 6. Okay, so there's a reason why I'm trying to emphasize these things. Because later on, not even sure if we're going to hear it tonight. We may hear it. But it ends up talking about Peleg. And then it emphasized Peleg. And it says Peleg was around when the earth was divided. And that caught my attention. And I was like, there's a couple of times when the earth be divided. And then later on, I snuck into one of the Apocrypha. Same story. Peleg was mentioned. And then it gave me the answer. But at the same time, when I thought about it, it also gave me the answer in the KJV. It's there in both. It's the little small thing. It's how he says it. So you got to make sure that you're paying attention to the little small details. Don't be a reader. Be a studier. A reader is just going to go, verse 5. And Noah did according to it says, the Lord. But we know we say the Most High here. So I'm going to replace that if that's okay. And Noah did according unto all that the Most High commanded him. And Noah was 600 years old when the flood of the waters was upon the earth. Then they just go on to verse 7 and go on to verse 8 and go on to verse 9. And they miss these small little nuggets. All right. So watch how the 600 is gonna help you identify something else a little bit later. Let's continue.
Noah did according unto all that the Lord commanded him. And Noah was 600 years old when the flood of waters was upon the earth. And Noah went in, and his sons and his wife, and his sons' wives with him into the ark, because of the waters of the flood. Of clean beasts, and of beasts that are not clean, and of fowls, and of everything that creepeth upon the earth, there were...
All right, so look, everything's packed on here. You got clean beasts, you got unclean beasts, you got the creeping things on the earth, so everything's falling into place. I just want to emphasize that. You'll see why in a minute.
And 2 and 2 unto Noah into the ark, the male and the female, as God had commanded Noah. And it came to pass after 7 days that the waters of the flood were upon the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month.
Wait a minute. Did y'all hear that? Okay, so listen. Earlier, thank you for that, Stephen. Earlier, what did he say? He said that Noah was around during when Noah was 600 years old, when the flood popped off, right? And listen how he dropped that. He said in the 600th year of Noah, so we're in the same year. He says Noah's life in the 2nd month. So this is the 2nd month of that year of the flood. The 17th day of the month, the same day. So on the 17th day of that 2nd month in Noah's 600th year of age, in the same day, were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. Okay, so the reason why I'm breaking all this down is because this is how they slip stuff on you when they turn around and say, well, this person wasn't alive around this particular time, and this person was in this particular time. And no, look. You can confidently say, yo, when Noah was 600, that 2nd month on the 17th day, the Most High put rain on this earth and he started flooding this bad boy. So what? And it's in the Bible. You get what I'm getting at? That way, don't do it like that. What I'm saying is, you'll be confident that, like, look, you put in the work and you're going to know that they just read over that. They just know that it says somewhere that he opened up the windows of heaven. Well, shoot, we can already tell you. It's in Genesis. It's in Genesis chapter 1, and you can go a little more detailed. You may not remember the verse. Like, I just forgot the verse, but I know what was said. Why? Because it stood out. Let's continue.
Were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. And the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. In the selfsame day entered Noah and Shem and Ham and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them, into the ark. They and every beast after his kind, and all the cattle after their kind.
Okay, wait. Okay, so something's going to catch your attention later on when we hop in Jubilees. I want to show y'all something, all right? So real quick, number 13. Let me just read it real quick. And I just want you to keep something in mind, okay? 13, it says, in the selfsame day entered Noah and Shem and Ham and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, the 3 wives of his sons with them, into the ark. Why did I break that down? Because the book of Jubilees tells you who the wives are. I started really picking up on that. So I'm in Jubilees earlier, and you'll hear it in a minute. And I was like, wait a minute. They just gave Shem's wife's name. But in Genesis, they don't. They give a brief bio, a overview. They skimped it down on you. But then in Jubilees, it tells you more. You'll put these connections together, and what does that do? That gives you more wisdom, more oomph to the story, more nuggets, more pieces to identify. It's starting to really sink in that it's important to understand these little things. Let's continue.
Thing that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, and every fowl after his kind, every bird of every sort. And they went in unto Noah into the ark, 2 and 2 of all flesh, wherein is the breath of life. And they that went in male and female of all flesh, as God had commanded him. And the Lord shut him in. And the flood was 40 days upon the earth. And
keep in mind, it said in verse 16, it said, and the Most High shut him in. Write that down. Verse 16, it's Genesis chapter 1, verse 16. Why? Because you're going to hear it again in Jubilees. But it's going to give a smidget more information, I think, if I remember correctly. Don't hold me to that, but we'll see. Let's continue.
Increased and bear up the ark, and it was lift up above the earth. And the waters prevailed and were increased greatly upon the earth. And the ark went upon the face of the waters. And the waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth, and all the high hills that were under the whole heaven were covered. 15 cubits upward did the waters prevail, and the mountains were cut.
Wait, so write down Genesis chapter 1, verse 20, if you're taking notes, that it says 15 cubits upwards did the waters prevail, and the mountains were covered. 15 cubits. The mountains were covered. You'll see why in a minute. Let's continue.
And all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of fowl.
Now, real quick, I'm going to read 21, and we got to do a little brief recap, especially for all the new people that's coming in. That way we make sure that we're all on the same page. All right, so it's chapter 7. Forgive me, y'all, chapter 7. I think I might have said chapter 6. So, all right, so we're in Genesis chapter 7. This is verse 21. I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to give everybody a nice brief overview. And if you're new coming in, you might want to sit down, because we discovered something very, very interesting in a couple lives ago that I'm going to re-talk about just a smidget. All right, it says, and all the flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of fowl, of cattle, of beast, and of every creeping thing that creepeth on the earth, and every man. Now, he said, and all flesh died that moved upon the what? The earth. It doesn't mention the sea. So write that down. It doesn't mention anything about fish. Now, recap. Here's a recap. Now, for everyone that's new coming in, I'm going to say, don't believe me, fact check me. Now, if you want to do a detailed study on this, last Saturday, it says round 2, starting from the beginning. We hopped into Genesis. All right. We were in chapter 5 and 6. And when we broke down 6, this is exactly what 6 said to you, if you're studying to be approved. It said that some fallen angels fell from heaven, that they intermingled with women, earthly women. They created giant offsprings. That's what chapter 6 tells you. Then it goes on to tell you that these angels started corrupting mankind. It's right in front of your face, sitting in Genesis. Corrupting mankind, corrupted all the flesh. Keep in mind, while you're studying, not reading, you will find out that it doesn't really tell you that what pops off in the water, but they corrupted all flesh. The Most High is like, everything has to go. Then the Most High remembers Noah. He's like, well, that's my ace in the hole. That's my guy that's gonna bring us to this next phase of stuff. That's when Noah comes in. But I want y'all to really hear what I just said. It also says this one statement. It says there were giants in those days, and then it softly says, and thereafter. It's literally sitting in front of your face. Okay, so let me go to my original thought I just really wanted to tell you a few seconds ago. It just walked through the book of Enoch right in front of your face. And if you didn't catch that, If that's new to you, be like, wait a minute, hold up. That's not the Genesis that I know. Because you ain't studying. And I say that with love. So I would encourage you to go check out that live. Have the patience to go through and hear what we studied. Hear what the word says for yourself. And we went slow. So it actually tells Enoch. It confirms Enoch. It confirms Enoch to a next level. Oh, and by the way, then after that, in that same live, I went to Enoch and I proved it. That it coincide, and Enoch just gives you a little bit more information. And then I took it a step further when we're done when we were done out of Genesis in the King James. Then I went to Enoch, and then I went to 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 4 and 5, and trailed and showed you where Peter actually calls out the fallen angels corrupting mankind, and the Most High locks them up into the rivers, well, the pits of hell is what he calls, or something to that nature. And then he also mentions Noah and the flood. So for all the people that says King James only, shoot, I just gave you something to chew on and pray on. And I mean that in a good way. I hope you took that a good way. And also, if you're a person that's like New Testament only, if you're New Testament only, well, I just showed you right there. It threw Enoch right in your face if you're paying attention. If you want to look over it, ignore it, that's going to be on you. But hey, the information hits your ears, so you're going to be responsible for it, whether you like it or not. So I just pray that we planted a seed that you're willing to go take a look. What I'm trying to convince everybody to do is put your pride down and start actually doing some studying on your own. I'm praying that I can help encourage some people to sometimes close the Bible and actually start doing some non-biased research on your own and try to debunk yourself. Try to debunk what you thought was true or what you feel that is true. Try to go debunk it and see what you find. Instead of debunking everyone else, try to debunk yourself and what you were told. And watch what happens. You're going to get information that's going to come flooding in on you. Let's continue.
And of beast, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man, all in whose nostrils was the breath of life, of all that was in the dry land.
Hey, is Demetrius in here? Demetrius, I thought I saw your name earlier. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. This is in my spirit. I feel like I gotta, y'all be patient with me. I gotta wait for his name. See if he's still in here. Demetrius, you in here, brother? I thought I saw him. Okay, the reason why, Demetrius, I'm calling your name out is because I noticed I don't know why, the Most High was like addresses. I just felt it. I don't know. You wanted to join in with us, and I couldn't see in the comments. So I just want to let you know if we have some time after, because I saw other people they were rooting for you to get into the live. So I want to make sure I give you some time if I can after we're done, brother. So if you hear, and you still want to join, just let me know, and we'll do that. But I just want to throw that out there real quick. Let's go.
Died.
Building your custom home is now easier than ever. And with America's Home Place, we can show you how. During our 50th...
Take back your time with Sports Engine HQ.
Another
Get
commercial?
customer
Come on,
registrations,
man.
robust financial reporting, and powerful communication tools.
Died. And every living substance was destroyed, which was upon the face of the ground, both man and cattle, and the creeping things, and the fowl of the heaven, and they were destroyed from the earth. And Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark.
Wait a minute, let's break that down. Verse 23, and every living substance was destroyed, which was upon the face of the what? The ground, both men and cattle and creeping thing and fowl of the heaven, and they were destroyed from the what? The earth. And Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark on the ground. But wait a minute. What about the what? The sea. There's still water. He never mentions the ocean. If he floods the place, the fish are swimming freely. Whales are doing their own thug thizzle. Like, you gotta really understand that.
Prevailed upon the earth 150 days.
One of the reasons why you gotta understand that is because, okay, so some of y'all may not understand this, but you gotta really understand the fact that, no, do your research on sirens is what I'm trying to tell you. Do your research on sirens. Yes, mermaids. And also study very hard inside scripture to find when they come up, take notes on those. The reason why I'm trying to tell you this is because, like, take, for example, the United States. I dropped some content with Shattered Paradise. There's something called the Marine Kingdom, and it's demonic spirits from the waters. And United States made a covenant with them, whether you believe it or not. It sounds kind of crazy to others, but to me, it doesn't. It's sitting right in front of your face, and you don't even know it. The forefathers of the United States, they made a covenant with demons for this place. This is Babylon. And okay, so let me explain. I'm just going to throw a few little things out there for you just to kind of chew on, pray on. Think about your word plays. All right, so where do people put their money? Right? A lot of people put their money where? In the what? The bank. Well, where else can you find another bank? Water. On the bank. Right? On the bank of the ocean. Your money, it's another name for what? Another name for your money is what? Currency. Currency. Well, where else can you find a current? In the seas. Current. Sea. Wall Street. Frozen assets. Liquid. You get what I'm getting at? It's in front of your face the entire time. So now I'll give you a couple of little rabbit holes, and it's also in the video that I posted it up. It's labeled I think it's labeled Marine Kingdom. I can't remember, but it's the ancient Canaanites. The ancient Canaanites, they had a language, and it was a Phoenician language, and the Phoenician language was a Hebrew language, and both Greek and English was established from this lettering. This lettering has power. Why do you think they don't want you to say Yahuwah? They don't want you to say Yahuwah. They don't want you to say certain words. Why? Because now you're tapping into stuff they don't want you to tap into. That's why they're taking that name away, and they switched it. Now when you're using that alphabet under their names and you don't even realize it. So when you turn around, think about it. Why do you think a person says there's power in the name Jesus? Because they don't know where they're channeling that power from. And they haven't opened their eyes to go, wait a minute, hold up. I thought the church was supposed to be on our side. Why is the church actually lying to us? Why is the church misdirecting us? But wait a minute. Isn't that in scripture? Wait a minute. Hold up. Most High, you're saying the people that's doing that type of stuff is our bad guys, and they're not with us. But it looks like our current day people are doing the same thing that you say right there in the word. So wait a minute. Are they, Most High, did it stop? Because the pastors make it seem like it stopped. The pastors make it seem, they make us look at the people in the past, and they let us know that something gonna pop up in the future. But they, like, right now, they say, like, we good type thing, because all we got to worry about is Jesus dying on the cross for us. You know, that's what they be telling us, Most High. But I mean, according to you, looking at your scripture, you kind of emphasizing like, yo, it didn't stop at all. That's landed? Is that landed? Man, let's continue.
Genesis chapter 8.
Chapter 8, Genesis.
And God remembered Noah and every living thing and all the cattle that was with him in the ark. And God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters assuaged. The fountains also of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained.
Okay, so right there, chapter 8, Genesis, verse 2. And the fountains also of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained. Okay, so now first, let me remind some people who may be just jumping in that in Genesis, the Most High refers to the firmament as heaven. The firmament as heaven. My bad. Something just caught my attention. That's all. All right. So now if the firmament is heaven, so when he says that the windows of heaven were stopped, and earlier he said that they were opened, then he's opening up the windows of the firmament. So let's continue.
Waters returned from off the earth continually. And after the end of the 150 days, the waters were abated.
Now, wait a minute. He said that after 150 days that they abated the water. So they stopped the water. So if write that down, that the flood, the waters was raining for 150 days, 150 days. Let's continue.
Ark rested in the 7th month on the 17th day of the month upon the mountains of Ararat. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the 1st day of the month, were the tops of the mountains seen. And it came to pass, at the end of 40 days, that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made. And he sent forth a raven, which went forth to and fro until the waters were dried up from off the earth.
Now this is important to pay attention to. So check this out. So we're in Genesis chapter 8, verse 7. It says, and he sent forth a what? A raven. A raven. So he sent a raven first. Now, I'm going to do a spoiler alert. A raven is part of the unclean animals. And when you do homework, you find out that the blackbirds and the ravens are also, they give access or connected to demonic spirits. I really do believe that. So let me finish reading that sentence. So it says, and he sent forth a raven, which went forth to the, which went forth to and fro. So it's looking for land until the water were dried up on the face, dried up from off the earth. Man, y'all know I read like a third grader sometimes, but look, we're going to keep going. So watch the next move.
So he sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground.
Okay, so he sent a dove also. So it says in verse 8, also he sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. This is important. Watch this.
Dove found no rest for the sole of her foot. And she returned unto him into the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her and pulled her in unto him into the ark.
Okay, so the dove came back. The dove came back and showed no signs of any type of land. So that let Noah know that like, yo, it says, but the dove found no rest for the soles of her foot and returned unto him, unto the ark. And it says, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. So the water was still around everywhere. So the dove couldn't find no type of land. notice the raven didn't come back.
And he stayed yet other 7 days, and again he sent forth the dove out of the ark. And the dove came into him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth.
Okay, so notice it says he waited. It says in verse 10 in chapter 8 of Genesis, and he stayed yet another 7 days, and again he sent forth the dove out of the ark. Verse 11. And the dove came into him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was a olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. So the dove found some land and brought back a little piece of an olive leaf. Now keep in mind, it never mentioned nothing about that raven coming back at all. Let's continue.
Stayed yet other 7 days, and sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him any more.
So he sends this dove back out, and the dove does not come back now. So apparently, I'm assuming, we're going to keep listening, but it seems like that raven found land and decided, I'm chillaxing. The dove came and gave report. Now the dove didn't come back. So now Noah's confident there's some land going on.
To pass, in the 601st year, in the first month, the first day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth.
Now, wait a minute. Y'all put that together? Now, remember in the beginning, sorry.